So this video is to present how the demo log works. This is the modular enhancement demo log, which is at extra cost. If you are interested in finding out how much it would cost you to have this demo log or would like a more detailed demonstration, then please speak with your account manager or speak with Inquiry Mac support and we can get that arranged for you. So first of all, what I wanted to do is go through to the tools area, because once you have this demo log enabled, obviously you have the demo form disclaimer, which is you can upload your disclaimer into here very simply, but you also have manage demo vehicles. So if you've got a fleet of demos that you would like to add onto the system, you can actually do that yourselves by adding each vehicle. If you do this on the iPad, you can actually take photos of that vehicle as well. So you've got photographic proof of what the condition of the car is as you put it onto your fleet. So when it comes off fleet, you can start to, I suppose, get an idea of the price of getting the vehicle back to its original condition if it's had any damage from the amount of test drives that you've done in that car. You can add any vehicles onto here, so if you've got courtesy cars, etc., you can add them as well. So going into the calendar, I'm sure you're all aware that if you want to mark a test drive and have it added to your report so you can start to show your activity, then you do need to click the yes box there. That doesn't change whether you have the demo log on or not. That trigger there, that yes box, is still the trigger to mark that you've completed a test drive within your reporting suite. So please make sure you still use the yes box. Now, to book a test drive, if we go to hover over the daily log and go into our demo log there, we can actually go into our test drive log. Now, we've got choices. We can either do it via, so if we go into demo vehicles, it will give us a list of vehicles that we've added on, and we can either book a vehicle by doing that, or we can go back into the demo log and upload a manual registration number. So we're going to put in here BJ16 EBV. Okay, so if I click onto the magnifying glass, it's instantly tried to search to see if that vehicle exists in the system already. I know it doesn't, so it's now going to do a VRM lookup so you can manually add vehicles on at any time. So obviously we've shown you can upload your fleet, but the amount of time that you change cars and your stock turn obviously flips over, it's unlikely you're going to manage to keep on top of actually adding all of your cars onto here. You might do it with actual demonstrators, but for used vehicles, if someone wants to drive a used car, this is actually the best way of doing that. So we've done the lookup on the car. I'm going to select that vehicle and we're going to, you can see it's put the car in here, and we're going to say that customer would like to drive that car today. It's 12 o'clock now, so we'll book it for a 2 o'clock appointment. Now, as I start to type in customer details here, you can see it starts to actually find customers within the system. So let's just show you. So let's say, for instance, that we have a customer who would like to drive this car called, let's go with a Roger Whiston. Okay, so Roger Whiston would like to drive this car at 2 o'clock today. The mileage on the vehicle going out is, we'll put it down as 2695. We don't know the mileage in yet because he hasn't taken the drive. And then we would put in his details there of his driving license. If there is a second driver, then we can obviously populate that in here as well. And we're going to say that's an accompanied drive, and we've seen the customer's license. Okay, so that stores that in this individual's calendar. So every vehicle has its own demo calendar. So if I choose a different car, then it will actually show me what demonstrators or demonstrations that are booked against that specific registration number. So Mr. Whiston has come in for his test drive, so we just need to go in and get the declaration form. So I click onto the customer's name, and we can, if the customer chooses to change that appointment from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we can delete it, or we can just amend it in here so we can actually roll backwards. We can obviously take it over a longer period, or let's actually show you the delete. So we'll delete that off for now, just to show you how that works, and we're going to book it for a 3 o'clock. So we'll go back in for Roger Whiston again, and mileage out is going to be whatever it is. License is okay, that's accompanied, and we're going to save that. So customer comes in and arrives for his appointment, so we need to take his license, etc., get the declaration signed. So we've seen the license, and we're going to print the declaration form. So the declaration form, all the text here is what's been added in the tools area that we showed you at the beginning of the video. Okay, so we get a signature on that, go out on the test drive with the customer, so we save that for now. Now, when the customer comes back, we need to update the record. So once the customer is back off his test drive, just pop into your record. The appointment's been completed. The mileage is now 2642. Okay, and we're going to save that there. Now, if I want to print another disclaimer, I go back into the record, and we can now see that we've got the mileage and the time back in, and obviously get the customer to sign on return, on vehicle return as well. Right, so we're going to say that the customer enjoyed driving that car, but wants to come back in on, let's say the customer wants to come back in tomorrow with his partner to drive a different car. We'll choose a different car. So, customer would like to come in tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Okay, so we're going to go to our demo log. I'm going to put in here AO66 VAM. Okay, so we found a car here. We can see it's booked to go out on the 10th at 2 o'clock. And I actually want to mark a test drive against that car at 4 o'clock. Customer wants to come in and drive that at 4 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to go into the diary for this one. So this is the diary for AO66 VAM. Okay, I didn't do a vehicle registration mark lookup because the car's already it exists in the system already. Someone's already logged queries against it. So I'm going to book it in for Tuesday, the 10th at 4 o'clock, and that's going to be for Roger Whiston. Mileage on that car is 4123. His license is WHIST. We've got the license saved within our computer, and that's going to be another accompanied drive. I've seen his license today, but he's coming back tomorrow, so we'll just mark that in there. So we can now start to see that on AO66 VAM we've got appointments booked for Mark Bridgeland, we've got appointments booked for Roger Whiston. So again, when Mr. Whiston comes in tomorrow and drives that car, we just go into our record, mark once it's been completed, we put what the mileage is when the customer returns in that car. We mark the appointment's been completed, save the record, and then we can obviously print off the disclaimer as well. So if I go into a different one, go into Mark Bridgeland for instance, and print off that disclaimer, so you can see it's automatically populating all the customer's details into there, all the vehicle information is going in here as well. Let me just come out of that. Okay, if I then go back into my demo log, you can now start to see who's driving which cars over which time period. Obviously we're looking at week commencing date, so it will show you your whole demonstrator log for the coming week and who's driving which registration numbers, times in, times out, etc. You can actually, from here, you can edit your appointments. So if I need to change one, I can go into there and edit the appointment time. Okay, or if I go back into my demo log, I also have the access to go into the diary for that car. Go back into my demo log. I also have the access to the disclaimer form as well for that specific vehicle, so I can see the mileage in, mileage out, etc. So there's lots of data around that. If you go into, let's take a different one. Let's take this one down here. So if I click on to add, it takes me into the registration number calendar. As I said, every single registration number has its own individual diary, so everyone can see exactly what that car is doing over the next week. Obviously we can jump forward into subsequent weeks and things. We can go forwards in our days, so we can just keep skipping through. But yeah, it's very simple to mark your test drives. But please do remember that by doing your test drives in that demo log, the calendar still shows as an empty done box, and Mr. Doolittle still shows as test drive not taken, which you can see in the pop-up there. So once the customer has completed the test drive, I must remember to go in, click my done box, say that he's turned up for the appointment, had his test drive, and mark that he enjoyed it. Thank you very much.